Okay, Torah or parshat Shemot. Next week, Mitzvah Hashem, we'll learn the Basi Lagani for this year. But this week we'll still learn Shemot. Okay, pasuk says, "V'ele Shemot b'nei Yisrael by Mitzrayim." These are the names of the Yidden that came into Mitzrayim. Eis Yaakov, Ishav, Eisi Bo. Together with Yaakov, each man and his family came. Hine parshat Vayigash Lema v'gam kein V'ele Shemot b'nei Yisrael by Mitzrayim Yaakov Uvanov. There's a question Rashi asked and Farshim asks. It already says in Parshat Vayigash, they already enumerated, when the Jews came down to Egypt, enumerated all the names. Why is the Torah repeated again when they're coming? So Rashi says, because he loves them so much, that he keep counting them. Also, not only is it a question on the repetition, but the way the Torah counts them is different then than now. Why? It says the ones that came to Mitzrayim, it doesn't say Yaakov, Eis Yaakov it adds. Without the word S. It says over there, when he counts the Yid and Yaakov and his children, that when he speaks, it says like, how many children of Yisrael, with Bnei Yisrael, to enumerate 70. But Yaakov is one of the 70. So the question is, he's not the children of Yaakov Yisrael, he is Yisrael. So why is he called part of Bnei Yisrael? Okay? So number one, it says in this parsha, Eis Yaakov, and Vayigash it doesn't. Secondly, why is Yaakov counted one of the 70 if it's speaking about the Bnei Yisrael? Yaakov is Yisrael, not one of Bnei Yisrael. It says like this. When the brothers came down to Mitzrayim, they told Yosef, Yora Yoradnu, which is a double Yerida, a double descent. Yerida Acha Yitzira. It says, I will take you out. We will double go up. So you find, when the Torah speaks about the Jews going down to Mitzrayim, it speaks double expression of Yerida, and the Jews going out of Mitzrayim, it speaks double level of Aliyah. So why is it double? It's obviously it refers to the two going up, which is elevation after elevation. But the question is, the going out of Egypt was only one going out, one elevation. Like it says, so the question is like this. The Torah is speaking about the going out of Egypt, singular, Ella Eschem, I will take you out. Yet, the pasuk says, Ochol Gam Ole, two aliyahs. So sometimes it says going out of Mitzrayim, one aliyah, one going up, and the second one is two going up. So he says, Achki aliyah zo ashenis, rememes agulu asid aliyahs b'mehavya meinu ami. He says, the second aliyah, in other words like this, going out of Egypt was one aliyah. The second aliyah refers to the coming of Mashiach. So there's the two aliyahs, one from Golus Mitzrayim and one from our Golus now. Okay, so he says now, next paragraph, about the Geul of Mashiach, it says, like the days of going out of Egypt, I will show you wonders. In other words, the Torah is likening Mashiach's coming, redemption of Mashiach, to the redemption of going out of Mitzrayim. Because the Torah says, just like the days of going out of Egypt, I'm going to show you miracles when Mashiach comes. What's the connection between the two? So he says like this. Vashib Rudu Shamo Kedei Lekalas Lizches Lekabal Satera Panim Dibe. Okay? The Medrash says, Chassidus elaborates on this, the pasuk says, Hashem said, I took you out, Mikura Barzel, is the iron, Kura Barzel is like the iron rake, that when they tan hides.
Furnace.
Not furnace. No, it actually, the rake, the iron prongs that refine the hide to make it good. It says the whole purpose, the code. The whole purpose of going down into Mitzrayim, it says in Medrash, was for the Jews to become refined, to be able to receive the Torah. So if that's the case by Golus Mitzrayim, the Geula of Mashiach, the Golus now, is also for the sake of being able to receive the Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitzi, that the pasuk says that Mashiach will bring a new revelation of Torah even greater than there was by Matan Torah. So in other words, Golus, the whole concept of Golus is actually a it's not a punishment. It's not a torture. It is a torture. But the torture is a refinement. Just like you want to refine a hide, you have to torture the hide, so to speak, to refine it. You want to get a filter, you need to block something and get in its way that it should push through it and be cleaner. So the same thing, Golus, the whole concept of Golus is a purification of the Jewish people.
It should be a few years, but several generations.
Because the refining is so great, and the revelation is so great, the longer it takes, the more refined you become. And the more refined you become, the greater the revelation is going to be.
Because we've fallen so much further down than they did back then?
Well, they were pretty bad then too, by the way. Or like it says. What did Hashem tell Moshe Rabbeinu in this week's parshat, the burning bush? The sign that when you take the nation out of Mitzrayim, they're going to serve Hashem on this mountain. Meaning, the whole Mitzrayim is for the sake of Matan Torah. The same thing, this present Golus, the whole length of Golus is to merit the revelation of Pnei Mitzvah Torah, okay? Like it will be when Mashiach comes. Why? Keep a Matan Torah, Niglis. By Matan Torah, what was revealed to the Jewish people? The revealed Torah. The Pnei Mitzvah Torah, the secrets of Torah, is still hidden. So, Bavo Pnim is Tamei Torah, Yagilui Lohem La'asul Lovit. That's going to be when Mashiach comes. So in other words, there's two revelations. There's a revelation of Matan Torah, which is a revelation of the regular revealed Torah, and then you have the ultimate revelation of Pnei Mitzvah Torah. That's going to be when Mashiach comes. So the whole purpose of Golus then and now is to refine us to be able to reach that level of Kedusha. And that's what it says, Arenu Niflois. Niflois means Pella, is really also the word of secrets. So it's hidden miracles. In other words, the whole, when Mashiach comes, Hashem says, Arenu Niflois, I'm going to show you the miracles greater than they were even then. Like it says about Mashiach, Ayin ba'ayin yiru. They're going to see eye to eye. Not only will they understand it, they'll actually see godliness. And the same thing in the Golus of Mitzrayim, it says, they embittered the life of hard work. That also goes alzmano achre. Not only then in Mitzrayim, because again, Mitzrayim was the prerequisite for all Golus, including this one. Geulas Mitzrayim, the going out of Mitzrayim, is the prerequisite for all Geulas. So he says, in other words, the Medrash says also like this. Everything that happened in Mitzrayim physically is spiritual. So it says, they embittered Chayeinu, came Chayeinu. Torah is our life. How? Ba'avayda kasha, hard work, that refers to questions and learning. When you have questions and learning. V'chaymed, with bricks and that's kal v'chaymed, learning, kal v'chaymed. Chol avayda basada is braisa, because Bryce is outside in the field. Uvlevenim dalibun hilchasa, the refining of halacha. Shein biyadeinu halacha broda v'din border. He says like this, because until Mashiach comes, there's no real clarity in Torah, because kol din ater b'machloika shnuya. You ask somebody what's the halacha. You always safe to say there's two opinions, because the whole Torah is full of arguments. Halal machshirim, halal matarim. These guys make a kosher, pure, poison tmeim in kmei shayidei shiba mitzrayim ochemel veinim zochul matan Torah. So just like the refinement in Mitzrayim, they merited to receive the Torah. Through the refinement of Torah halacha in this world, okay? So the Alter Rebbe is explaining that what's the connection between Golus Mitzrayim and Golus now and Geula now. It says, because by Mitzrayim it says double descent and double elevation. So one elevation refers when the Yidden left Mitzrayim. The second elevation refers when Mashiach comes. Just like Mitzrayim is a preparation for Matan Torah, this Golus is a preparation for the revelation of the secrets of Torah through Mashiach. Okay? And just like then it was through Torah, same thing now, it's learning Torah refines us, the world, to be able to handle the revelation of Mashiach. So he said,
there is no clarity because of what Adam did, or is this the same as mixing up, or is it different?
No, this is in Torah itself. Both opinions are right.
Yes.
So, right now, but in practical halacha, you have to pass.
You said there is no clarity.
Clarity means there's so many different arguments, even till today. This contemporary says like this contemporary says like this. So, there's not one opinion for everybody. The Rambam writes in his introduction that initially, in the time of the Big Bezdin of 71, throughout Jewish history, there was never an argument in halacha. Why? Because if there were different opinions, they finally brought it to the Supreme Bezdin, and they argued, discussed, and paskin. That was it. There was no different opinions. The Rambam says, because of the Golus after the time of the Gemara, even during the time of the Gemara, because people were in all different places and nobody had, there was no contact between the places. Between Europe and Israel and Babel and all, there was no communication.
No internet.
No internet. So therefore there came different opinions. That's why the Rambam says, why am I writing my book? Because there's so many different opinions. I'm going to tell you what the real halacha is.
And when Mashiach comes, it will be clarity.
Clear.
There will be no argument.
No.
But that's not fun. No what?
It's not fun?
Yeah.
It'll be a higher level of learning Torah.
So there is still going to be argument.
Boring. It'll be boring. Everything will be all clear and all.
No, it's similar to the difference between Talmud Bavli and Talmud Yerushalmi. Talmud Bavli is full of discussion, questions, answers. Yerushalmi, there's also arguments, but it's much more clear cut. That's why Yerushalmi is this big and Bavli is that big, massive. Because Yerushalmi is short and sweet. The reason why the halacha is like Bavli, not the Yocher, it says, Ein Torah k'Torah Eretz Yisrael. There's no Torah as great as Torah Eretz Yisrael. So why is halacha like Bavel? Because Dafka Bavel had questions and debates and discussions. And that's called Liban Hilchas, refining the halacha. In order to refine the halacha, you have to argue, debate, discuss, and then come to a conclusion. And that exists in Talmud Bavli. La'asad Lavi, it's going to be like Talmud Yerushalmi in that respect. That there will be clear-cut halachas, Mashiach will paskin, and that's the way it's going to be. It says, the pasuk says about Mashiach, Marich v'doyin, and the Gemara says that the Gemara says, V'arecha b'yiras Hashem, he's going to smell. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says about the quality of Mashiach is, when two people come for a court case, he's going to smell who's right. He's not going to even have to listen to discussions. He's going to go, you're right, you're wrong. It shows of a level of Kedusha that you see straight what the truth is. There's a story. The Alter Rebbe once came into somebody who was learning Torah, and he was learning Rabbeinu Asher, the Rosh. And the Alter Rebbe sees him learning the Rosh. The Alter Rebbe asks him, why does the Rosh learn like this and not this way? No, Rosh, the Rabbeinu Asher. One of the, he lived after Rashi, but one of the big poskim that we go by, and he was from the Rishon, Damatasis. Anyway, so the Alter Rebbe asked him, why are you learning it this? Why does the Rosh learn like this? Why doesn't he learn like this? I says, a good question. And then the Alter Rebbe showed why he couldn't learn like this. And then he refuted that, like 20 times, until he finally came back to the way the Rosh learned, why he learned like he learned. The Alter Rebbe says, don't think that the Rosh went through this whole thing until he saw it straight the way it's supposed to be. We need this maybe this way, maybe this way, maybe this way, on one hand and the other. Why do you got to make two hands? You should be able to say on one hand and the other hand. These tzaddikim, they see straight. So people had difficult questions they asked the Rebbe, yeah? The Rebbe answered on the spot. He didn't, the Rebbe said right away, yeah? Yes, surgery, not surgery. Well, let me say the medical job. Straight to yes or no, straight to this, in the most complex issues. Because tzaddikim see things straight. They see the way it's supposed to be. Emes, but they see it. They see emes. Truth sees truth. Sheker sees sheker. False sees false. Truth sees truth. And that's the way the tzaddikim learned in Torah, and that's the way it's going to be when Mashiach comes. That people are going to see Torah straight, the way it's supposed to be. Because we don't have the corruption of evil and sheker and all that, which the world is full of, and we're full of. So then we don't see it straight. And then it's going to be seen straight. It's a whole different story.
So there'll still be levels, though, of people that see it straighter?
Yeah.
Higher, deeper?
What do you think when Mashiach comes, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be on our level? We're going to be on Moshe Rabbeinu's level of the revelation of Mashiach? No. Everybody's going to see God. Everybody sees the diamond, but the expert sees it differently than we do. But they all see the same diamond. Okay, do you know what you're looking at? The parshat said, we're saying that they have eyes and don't see. You can have eyes, you can be looking at something, but you don't know what you're seeing. And then
And a lot of that has to do with the work that we do now, right? How much work
so he's saying the whole purpose of Golus is to refine ourselves to come to that level. Just like in order to receive Torah. The Jews had the Golus Mitzrayim 210. Yeah? We have 2,000 plus because the refinement is much greater because the revelation is going to be infinitely greater. And if the revelation is infinitely greater, the refinement needs to be to the ultimate perfection.
What were you telling me just now? When you were looking at it, you were saying something.
Not to him. I looked at him, I saw the light. How through refining Allah will be the revelation when Mashiach comes. Then we first need to introduce, now the Alter Rebbe goes off as the way it is. We say Hashem is Melech, King, Meshubach and Fayad, praiseworthy and exalted, Adei Ad forever, Shmei HaGod. We say in Baruch Shama. The ultimate purpose of the neshama coming into this world is Yerida Tzerech Aliyah. In other words, the Alter Rebbe is going to explain like this. The neshama coming into the world is also to become refined. The neshama coming into the world is descent for the sake of elevation. The neshama's purpose is to refine the body, and through that, the neshama becomes greater. The neshama goes up greater than it was before. In other words, not that the neshama is perfect. but there's such a thing called more perfection. You have more perfection. Which is asogas and neshamas, the understanding of the neshamas. Nanim is enjoying the Shechina. Shutainig nifla adin kes v'tachlis b'ligvul. This enjoyment of Elokus in Gan Eden is unlimited. V'nei b'sfarim le'nizker kim Gan Eden elyon v'tachtim. In Sfarim you find two levels of Gan Eden, higher Gan Eden, lower Gan Eden. Avo be'emes yesh kama b'chinas Gan Eden v'tanugim adin ketz. There's infinite amount. Each level, Gan Eden and Tachten, has infinite levels. Gan Eden, that's why we say, Meshubach u'mefoyard adei ad. Adei means forever. What do you mean praising God forever? Because every level in Gan Eden you go up, it's a different level to understand the praise of Hashem even better. Right? So therefore the whole Inyan is, like he says, Tzadikim ein lahem menucha loy b'elam haba. They're not in this world, not in the world to come. It says, Yelchu mechai elochoyu, v'neim Hashem v'atayne gahu, u'mevchines gili shmei hagodol. This is not even God. The whole Gan Eden, the highest, lowest, the highest, it's only His name. He says, Asher Kedai, even that. Kedai, the Gemara says about Ache, Kedai ko Yisuri Gehenim. All the torture of hell is worth to come to that level of Gan Eden. Kamai Merazali, the Gemara says about Ached, Motiv de Ladainya. It's worth it for him to become punished in Gehenim that he should come to Olam Haba. Because the pleasure of Olam Haba is infinitely greater than the torture of Gehenim. In other words, again, in Yiddishkeit, especially according to Chassidus, Gehenim is not a damnation. It's a cleansing process. The Neshama sins, Neshama gets impure, dirty, spiritually dirty. Now, your dirty Neshama cannot go to Gan Eden. You know, there's a sign. If you're not cleaned, don't come in. Vaccinated, don't come in. So how does the Neshama get to Gan Eden? So most normal people, unless you're tzaddik and gemurim, most normal people, for the sins they do, they get cleansed in Gehenim. That's the punishment of Gehenim. The fire of Gan Eden, it's not physical fire, obviously.
No.
No. How do you kasher a pot? Boiling, with a blowtorch, right? Yeah. Okay. Or with boiling hot water. So how does the neshama get cleansed upstairs? With heat. There's a Gehenim of snow. Also, by the way, it's called Gehenim Shoshalag. Alter Rebbe speaks about a little bit in Tanya. That is, in other words, like this. For the negative mitzvahs we transgress, so we get dirty because I actively did something. I ate chazer, I did, whatever. So that you get dirty, and that you need to get cleaned. But if you didn't do a positive mitzvah, you didn't bring evil upon yourself. You just were lazy, and because of that, you didn't come to minyan. So what's Gehenim Shel Shalit? It's like when you want to wake up, you jump into a cold pool, right? You jump into a cold pool, it wakes you up. That's what Gehenim Shel Shalit is. Gehenim Shel Shalit is not keeping positive mitzvahs out of laziness. So the neshama is a lazy neshama. So how you gonna lazy neshamas can't go to Gan Eden? So they freeze you a little bit.
But what about if you suffer here?
My hand is frozen right here, right?
Wake you up.